Donald Trump's summer vacation comes as his presidency is under siege. The AP sums it up like this, quote, with his poll numbers stalled, his ability to rally the country questioned, he's being tested by an escalating trade war with China that may slow the economy, rising tensions with both Iran and North Korea, and in the aftermath of the latest mass shootings, pressure to act on guns and face accusations of his own role in fostering an environment of hate. And add another item to that laundry list, a startlingly under-the-radar admission from House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler.
This is formal impeachment proceedings. We are investigating all the evidence, we're gathering the evidence, and we will, at the conclusion of this, hopefully by the end of the year, vote articles of impeachment to the House floor, or we won't. That's a decision that we'll have to make. But that's exactly the process we're in right now.
Rob, this is either the smartest, craftiest impeachment strategy I've ever seen in my life, or not.
I'm glad you said all that. I can't figure it out either.
Okay, good. So it's not a club that I don't have the keys to.
All of us, I think, are in that club. I can't figure out what we're doing and why. And I think that clearly, you know, with the events of the week that are horrific, we still need people to really focus in on. We're talking about the testimony by Robert Mueller that we are still under threat from Russian interference with our elections. Right. And we're rushing into these debates and all without ever answering how are we going to protect the integrity of the elections. And those of us that go out.
Who's going to protect
and
them?
Who's going to do it and under what method are they going to use? And are they going to be assigned by this president who acts like it's no issue at all? I mean, you have this president that acts as though white supremacy is a hoax and everything else is a hoax. No addressing at all the fact that we have been told by Mr. Mueller, who he exonerated him from collusion, but is not going to accept that Mueller said we're still under threat and we're moving forward.
As we sit here.
As we sit here, we're moving forward like he never said that.
I mean, this is the challenge, is that the Democrats right now are missing such an opportunity where the majority of the American people just feel unease. There's not an American that looks, for the majority of them, right? There's a sliver that looks at this president and say, things are not right. The level of anxiety among the American people is at all-time high. And this is a drip, drip, drip. Do we impeach? Do we not? The closer that they get towards the presidential election, the harder they're going to have to bring the rest of the American people with us. And we just have to say, look, if you lie, and there's like a litany of lies, that in alone should also make people feel like, yeah, we're ready. When you make a whole group of individuals feel uncomfortable, unsafe in their communities, that you constantly incite it and you do not apologize, I'm ready. But the fact that he's not willing to investigate and actually provide us the resources to protect our election system, what are you hiding from? Is that the only way you'll get elected? We have so many different courses that they can go for impeachment, but they're so afraid that they're going to do a misstep. They're so close to their polling. It's like, no, sometimes you just have to follow your gut of what you know is the right thing to do and be leaders.
Right, do what's right. I mean, this impeachment strategy, I talked to a congressional reporter this week who said, they're pursuing this legal strategy. Now, I'm not sure about the politics, as you both said. You know, we'll see. It doesn't scream of boldness, but you've been in litigation with Donald Trump. Maybe this is exactly the right way to get at Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, I suspect what's going on is it's this choreographed dance among Nancy Pelosi, Jerry Nadler, Adam Schiff, Maxine Waters, and Richard Neal. And those are the relevant committee heads who can get the goods on Donald Trump. And it does feel to me like the committee heads are slow walking this. And I think the reason they're slow walking is, one, they don't want this to get in front of the election. They also are building a case. They want to make a case to the American public that this man should be impeached, I think primarily for financial crimes, which is not what Robert Mueller did. And I think this is what's in their wheelhouse right now. His taxes, his financial relationships, his business relationships. You saw this week the Wall Street Journal had a very interesting story. I was curious about how it leaked, in which several banks in New York are now giving money to House Financial Services and the Intelligence Committee. And it pertains to Trump's deals in Moscow when he was running for president.
Yeah.
That's a damning deal. It shows the president compromised by a foreign power financially, and begging this question we've always talked about whether there were financial quid pro quos compromising his policymaking in the White House. I think they can get to that slowly and methodically and build a case. If it happens after Election Day at this point, then, you know, Trump's more vulnerable at that point if he loses. They can tag him out of office. I also, as a journalist, am pained by that process because he broke the law. Donald Trump obstructed justice.
We don't have enough time to do you justice here, Ben, but just your thought on how these stories get lost. I mean, Robert Mueller did have the nation's attention when he said, in response to Will Hurd, as we sit here right now, Russia's attacking us.
Yeah, and I think, Russia gets better each time they attack us, so we should expect that they'll be better this time than last time. And to connect to what we were talking about earlier, Nicole, what happens if there's a massive Russian interference in our election? What happens if they actually try to affect the vote tabulation, right? And there's a very close election. And we're looking for the referee to tell us what happened. And the intelligence community's been kind of gutted out. He's bullied the leadership of the intelligence community into silence. Who's going to throw the flag here, right?
Open.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.